A $200 fast fashion linen blouse costs $11 to make. The other $189 is not craftsmanship. It is not quality. It is the promise that wearing it will make you look younger, trendier, and relevant to an algorithm designed for 22-year-olds. We ranked 10 summer pieces that the most elegantly dressed women over 50 have quietly removed from their wardrobes, not because they followed a rule, but because they understood something the fashion industry spends billions of dollars hoping you never figure out. Every item on this list is being actively marketed to you right now. Every item on this list costs its manufacturer almost nothing to produce. And every item on this list quietly works against the very thing you're trying to achieve. Starting with a piece so ubiquitous you probably own one right now. Number 10. Micro-length denim cutoffs. The fashion industry reinvents these every 3 to 4 years, repositions them with a new wash, a new fraying technique, a new celebrity attached to the campaign, and sells them to every demographic simultaneously. The construction tells the story before a single wear. Raw hemlines unravel after 2 washes. Lightweight denim, often under 10 ounces per square yard, loses shape at the thigh within a season. The retail price sits between $40 and $90. The manufacturing cost is under $6. What you're paying for is a lifestyle photograph, not a garment. Women who dress with authority understand that proportion is the first language of elegance. A hem that ends at the upper thigh communicates youth as a costume rather than as a natural quality. When you're paying $80 for a piece that undermines your proportions and falls apart by September, you're paying for a trend cycle, not a wardrobe. Number 9. Neon-colored activewear worn as daywear. Brands selling performance leggings and sports bras as all-day streetwear built a multi-billion-dollar category on the argument that comfort and style are the same thing. They are not always the same thing. High-visibility colorways, electric green, acid yellow, fluorescent coral, are engineered for athletic visibility, not visual harmony. The compression fabrics involved, typically 80% polyester and 20% elastane blends, are optimized for sweat management, not drape or structure. A pair of neon leggings retails for between $65 and $110. The fabric and assembly cost is under $9. The markup funds sponsored athletes and social media saturation, not innovation in the garment itself. Elegance is not the absence of comfort. Elegance is choosing comfort that doesn't announce itself from across a parking lot. The women who understand this wear tailored jersey, structured knits, and premium cotton blends that move freely without radiating fluorescence. Number 8. Logo-heavy graphic tees. There is a version of this argument that sounds like snobbery, so let's make it a financial argument instead. A graphic tee from a brand whose entire identity is its own logo retails for between $55 and $120. The blank garment underneath that logo costs the manufacturer between $3 and $7. The screen printing or embroidery adds another $2. The remaining spread funds licensing fees, influencer placements, and the engineered social signal that you paid to advertise someone else's brand. Women over 50 who dress with intention stopped doing this, not because they read a style rule, but because they recognized it as the least efficient use of their clothing budget. The garment adds nothing to the wearer. It adds everything to the brand. Number 7. Fast fashion maxi skirts in synthetic floral prints. This category is perhaps the most aggressively marketed to women over 40, which makes it worth examining most carefully. The promise is effortless summer femininity. The reality is a polyester chiffon or woven viscose blend, often rated between 60 and 90 grams per square meter, that clings in heat, generates static, and photographs as shapeless within one season of wear. Retail price typically between $35 and $75. Fabric cost per unit under $4. The print itself is digitally applied with reactive dyes that fade after 8 to 12 washes. Contrast that with a natural fiber maxi in cotton or linen, which breathes, drapes with weight, and ages into the fabric rather than out of it. The same silhouette, built from the right material, becomes a 10-year piece, rather than a one summer problem. Number 6, cold shoulder tops. Cold shoulder construction, the deliberate cutout at the shoulder point that leaves the joint exposed, peaked as a trend and has remained on production lines because it costs manufacturers almost nothing to introduce. Removing fabric from a garment reduces material costs while adding a design detail that justifies a higher retail price. Most cold shoulder tops retail between $30 and $80. They are made from the same lightweight jersey, rayon, or synthetic chiffon used in standard blouses. The cutout itself introduces a structural weakness at one of the highest stress points in a blouse, the shoulder seam, which is why these pieces often fail first at exactly that point. Beyond construction, the silhouette draws the eye to the shoulder joint in a way that serves no flattering purpose for the vast majority of body types. It is a design trend masquerading as a design feature. The most elegantly dressed women in any room aren't wearing them this summer, and they weren't wearing them last summer either. Number 5. Visible shapewear as outerwear. The line between shapewear and outerwear has been deliberately blurred by brands that have a financial interest in selling you both. Spaghetti strap bodysuits and compression camisoles designed for underpinning are now marketed as standalone summer tops. The construction is foundational, meaning it is engineered to flatten and compress, not to drape or move. Worn as a primary top, these pieces communicate that the wearer is between outfits rather than in one. The retail price for a branded version of this category runs between $45 and $115. The material cost is under $8. The margin funds an aesthetic argument you didn't ask to enter. Elegance in warm weather is achieved through fabric that moves with the body, not fabric that restrains it and then asks to be seen. Number 4. Paper-thin linen blend trousers in white. This requires a distinction, because proper linen trousers are a cornerstone of summer dressing for women who understand fabric. The problem is not linen. The problem is the simulation of linen. Most mass-market linen blend trousers contain between 30 and 55% linen, with the remainder being polyester or viscose added to reduce production cost. The result is a trouser that lacks the natural temperature regulation of true linen, shears completely in direct sunlight, and seats out after 2 wears. Retail price between $45 and $90. True linen content, above 80% at that price range, is nearly impossible. Women who invest in a 100% linen trouser from a brand committed to natural fiber, priced honestly between $110 and $180, own a piece that lasts a decade and improves with washing. When you're paying $70 for a trouser that becomes transparent the first time you stand near a window, you're not buying linen. You're buying the idea of linen. Number 3. Trend-driven jumpsuits in occasion fabrics. Jumpsuits engineered for a single social occasion, typically in satin, metallic jacquard, or sequined mesh, represent one of the lowest cost per wear propositions in women's fashion. The retail price ranges from $80 to $250. The construction involves one of the most complex fit challenges in garment design, because a single-piece garment must accommodate torso length, shoulder width, hip circumference, and inseam simultaneously. Mass-market versions solve this by grading loosely, which means the garment fits almost no one precisely. After the event it was purchased for, it returns to the wardrobe and stays there. Women who dress with long-term thinking have recognized this pattern and replaced it with separates, a structured trouser and a considered top, that each carry their weight across dozens of occasions. One well-constructed pair of trousers worn 40 times is worth 16 times more than a jumpsuit worn twice and retired. Number 2, ultra-fast fashion sundresses under $25. These are the most financially deceptive items on this list because the price feels responsible. $22 for a summer dress feels like smart spending. But examine what $22 actually purchases. A dress at that price point involves synthetic fabric, almost certainly produced without environmental certification, construction using minimum seam allowances, often under 3/8 of an inch, and stitching at the lower end of the acceptable range, typically 8 to 10 stitches per inch rather than the 12 to 14 stitches per inch that indicates quality finishing. These pieces are designed to last one season. That is not a side effect of the price, it is the business model. Planned obsolescence at $22 per cycle, purchased 3 to 4 times per summer, costs the same as a single well-made natural fiber dress that lasts 5 years. Women who have done this math once never make the same choice again. 5 brands exposed for charging premium prices while delivering one-season quality, and 5 more for selling the idea of elegance at a price that makes real elegance invisible. Before we reveal the final piece on this list, the one that the industry markets most aggressively to women over 50 and the one that communicates the exact opposite of what it promises, hit that subscribe button if this breakdown is already saving you from expensive mistakes. The number one piece coming up will completely change how you think about summer dressing and what it actually communicates about who you are. Number 1, age-targeted fast fashion in mature cuts. This is the most important category on this list because it is built entirely on a condescending commercial premise. Major fast fashion groups have developed sublines and filtered collections, specifically marketed to women over 50, typically featuring longer hemlines, looser silhouettes, and muted colorways, all constructed from the same low-cost synthetic fabrics used in their standard lines. The message is that women over 50 need a special category of clothing that is modest, comfortable, and unremarkable. The reality is that these pieces are manufactured at a cost of between $5 and $12 per unit and retailed at between $45 and $110. The construction is identical to the main line. The only addition is a targeted marketing strategy that tells you exactly what you should want to look like and then sells you a garment that makes you look like a demographic rather than an individual. The most elegantly dressed women over 50 in any city in the world share exactly one thing in common. They are not wearing age-targeted fashion. They are wearing well-made pieces in natural fibers, considered cuts, and honest prices, regardless of which brand or which season produced them. They are dressing for their own standards, not for a marketing segment. When you're paying $90 for a piece designed to tell the world you have accepted a category, you're not investing in your wardrobe. You're funding a commercial assumption about what you're supposed to want. 10 pieces. One clear lesson. Elegance in summer dressing is not a function of price paid. It is a function of understanding what you're actually paying for. The cost per wear arithmetic is straightforward. A $22 sundress worn 6 times costs $3.67 per wear. A $160 natural linen dress worn 45 times across 3 seasons costs $3.56 per wear, lasts longer, photographs better, and does not communicate disposability. The brands and retailers selling age-targeted fashion, trend-driven occasion pieces, and logo-forward basics rely on you never running these numbers. They rely on the transaction feeling responsible in the moment. It isn't. The women who dress with the most authority over 50 are not wearing the most expensive pieces. They are wearing pieces that were made to last, in fibers that improve with age, in cuts that have no expiration date. They own fewer items and wear each one more. They think in cost per wear, in construction quality, and in longevity rather than in seasonal relevance. Feel the weight of the fabric before you buy. Check the seam allowances inside the garment. Ask yourself if this piece will look as precise in 5 summers as it does on the hanger today. If the answer is no, the price is wrong regardless of what the tag says. 10 pieces to eliminate, 1 principle to keep. If this breakdown helped you shop with more intention, subscribe for more honest fashion analysis and check out our video on the only natural fiber brands worth buying this summer. It's on your screen right now.